Yeah, you can't reason with crazy.
No.
Back to guns.
What a wild tangent we went.
Well, no,
What do you mean?
We went down a rabbit hole.
All paths lead to guns in America.
That's true.
Welcome to another episode of Inside Game. This time, special episode. Me and my brother, Derrick Brooks, in Los Angeles with our good friend, Michael Pierce. We're going to get to him in a minute. We actually stole his studio for this today. But we're looking around, Brooks. We don't see any branding for his studio. Maybe this really wasn't his studio and he just rented it too.
The double rent.
You think that?
Michael, welcome.
But you've never met my
never
brother
met-
Derrick
no,
Brooks.
never.
Keep him away
You've
from
never
me.
met no, he just hangs out in Philly more.
Clearly.
You need to come to Philly more.
I
You should.
love Philly.
You should.
It's a good. It's 11 degrees there right now,
Yes.
and it's 82 here right
This
now.
is ridiculous.
Why are you here and not in
Because
Philly?
you guys
Seems
are here.
unfair.
That's why.
We're in West Hollywood right now. I'm going to tell you my favorite West Hollywood story to kick this episode off.
Are you sure you want to tell
Yeah,
that
oh,
one?
yeah, I
Have
do,
you
I
cleared
do.
this with your wife?
I do. She was there. She was there when it happened. Okay, so I was the CEO of a company up in San Francisco called Aggregate Knowledge, and there was an announcement that Bob Barker was going to do his last month of episodes. This is May of 2007. He was going to do his last month of episodes of The Price is Right. So I send a mail to everybody at the company. I was like, bro, we're all going down. So I got 12 people out of there was about 30 people work for the company. About 12 of them came down. We went to the Grove. And if you're here in LA, the Grove is this little cool little shopping mall and whatever.
Yeah.
And then CBS Studios is right there. And so we decided we're going to go, and we're waiting in line. You got to wait all night to get your tickets and stuff. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So it's like 8 a.m. in the morning. They're starting to escort us in. And there's this guy there named Glenn. And the only way I can describe Glenn is in full gay regalia. That is basically how he decided that he was going to go to the final episode for Bob Barker. He's got the beads on. He's got the whole thing. Now, here's what's fascinating at The Price is Right. You have a big effing name tag on. So everybody knows what your name is. I walk in, and I'm there with Arthi, my wife. I'm there with a couple other people I work with. I'm there with my general counsel. Glenn walks right up to me and hugs me. He goes, Paul, I remember you, Gay Pride 97. You should have seen the look. You should have seen the look on. I actually think Eric Olson, my general counsel, is still laughing right now, even though it's almost 20 years later. I'm
fantastic.
like, Glenn, I think you got the wrong Paul. He said, well, you guys are all in from San Francisco, right? Gay Pride 97. I'm like, yeah, it's a different guy. So you got to watch out. When you got a name tag on, they can claim that they know you, Brooks.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I think of West Hollywood, I think of Glenn.
Glad you don't think of me.
Yeah, I think of Glenn. What are you thinking of West Hollywood?
Now I think of Glenn and how long the hug was.
Yeah, that's right. Gay Pride 97.
Did you wrap arm around or
Yeah.
did you stand there?
I got one other good one for you. Michael and I made the film Inside Game together, and the bad guy's car is my purple Bentley, and Brooks has seen my purple Bentley. You know, he is a pretty nice car too. Sometimes, you know, he used to have a black Bentley. We used to hang out together, but now we got gold cars back in Philly. So anyway, I'm driving my purple Bentley down Santa Monica, which is literally the street we're on. Actually, this happened probably about a couple feet from where the studio is right now. So I'm on Bluetooth. I got the roof down. And I'm talking to my dad. And just a usual kind of conversation. What's going on? How's the day? Whatever. And all of a sudden, a horn is just blaring. Just absolutely full blast. I think I ran over something. I think I hit something. So I pull off to the side of the road. And my dad's going, what's going on? What's going on? Because, he's like, what's going on? What's going on?
Right.
This dude rolls over to me. He goes, you want to get coffee? My dad goes, what's going on? I said, Dad, listen. I said, Dad, don't worry. It's just some guy hitting on me. We're good. We're good. And then my dad starts cracking up. He's like, I'm glad I was on the phone to hear that actually happen.
It's egregiously good looks.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the eyebrows, Brooks.
Yeah.
It's the eyebrows.
And eye contact. You shouldn't have made eye contact.
Oh, was that my mistake,
A
Brooks?
couple lights prior, you made eye
Top
contact.
down. That's what you guys think
Yes.
so you can constantly make eye
Shit,
contact.
Brooks
thought
just
he gave him the
figured it out.
Oh, he just cuts right to the chase.
I love it here. I'm obviously telling some funny stories.
Yeah, it's a good time.
We're having a good time. It's really, really one of my favorite places in the world. And we are thrilled that we have Michael on here. And as you see, Michael does have some branding on. Michael and I, while we've been partners in crime on a bunch of things, we're now involved in a new project, Brooks. How about you tell my brother Derrick what American Gun Owners is all about, Mr. Pierce?
Brooks, will you handle this? This is potentially
I'm so
going to
interested.
change the way guns are distributed in America.
Really?
Yeah, so right now everybody is rushing to buy guns, and mostly it's people that have never owned guns before,
Right.
particularly in blue states like California and New York, where they have been artificially, the government has prevented people from buying guns or carrying guns kind of illegally. It's being challenged by the NRA right now, but that's
Right.
another story. So the Supreme Court has made a bunch of rulings starting in 2022, which basically said they're taking away the power of a local law enforcement bill to restrict legally abiding gun owners from owning a gun and carrying a gun. And so you're seeing this massive influx of people applying for gun permits in these states. But if you go online and want to buy a gun now, if you're not an expert, you didn't grow up with guns or you didn't have a hookup somewhere, you're not going to go in a gun store.
Right.
You're like, the customer journey is super long and convoluted online. It's like, okay, there's 1,000 guns, there's 1,000 accessories, there's all this different type of ammo, but no one tells you how the fuck to do it.
Right.
So we came up with this idea. It's basically online. It's click, click, click. Here's your bundle. We built a recommendation engine, built an AI widget. So you just put in, answer 5 questions, and we'll find the right self-defense gun for you. We'll have it shipped to your closest FFL. That's a federal firearm license holder. That's either a range or a gun store that's near you. Or in certain states, you can have ammunition delivered right to your home. But say in California, you get it shipped there. You get a subscription for ammunition, 30% discounted for a whole year. You get instruction from an NRA-accredited instructor. It's all the path to instruction is right on the site. There's 30, 40 classes. You can just pick the right one and sign up and go down and get your instruction. And it's all delivered to you. You get eye and ear protection and a biometric safe.
Wow.
All in one package.
Wow.
Boom. And nice and simple. And you don't have to go to a gun store. You don't have to be an expert. We give you the right ammunition. If it's self-defense, you want to have a certain type of ammunition for your home. You want to have a bullet that doesn't penetrate a wall because you don't want to shoot your kid who's sleeping if they're, you miss and the bad guys come up the stairs or something. All these little things that you just wouldn't know
Right.
that are not easy. It's not common sense. And so we're basically meeting a demand that's clearly everywhere in America now this is prevalent, but mostly in blue states. That's the thing
That's
that's
the thing that's
interesting.
amazing about this is
Yeah.
his customers are first-time gun buyers in places you wouldn't expect, and they look like people you wouldn't expect too.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of his customers are what I would say good-looking younger girls here in California, right? Not the people you would
Fastest growing
picture
demographic.
Yeah.
picture as your first-time gun buyers.
Traditionally, there's people that wouldn't affiliate with gun ownership in the past are now like, it's not political to defend yourself.
Right.
That's not a left or right thing.
Yeah.
It's a necessity now. And
Right.
so this is what's happening. So we launch in 4 states next week, and then California is the big one. We launch on the 17th of January in California.
Yep.
The first time. And it's going to be a wild ride. There's no question it's going to ruffle some feathers, but, we're going to get scrutinized, but luckily we have thought out everything. We're not breaking any laws. We're working under the confines of existing laws, of course.
But it's not only not breaking any laws, you're actually embracing the existing regulations
Yeah.
to make the system work better for people
That's
who
my
are
view.
confused and scared.
Yes. I
Right?
think
Buying a
that's-
gun is the scary thing. Like, oh my God, I need one for, like, I've decided that I need one. Where do you go? What do
Yeah.
you do? You go read Reddit? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's the coolest part is the education behind it.
That's right.
Well, that's part of why I wanted to do this, because I grew up with guns. So I'm the antithesis of this. I grew up since I was 12 shooting guns. I grew up on a cattle ranch, so a gun was a necessity.
Yeah.
As a hunter, I eat what I kill. A gun is just, utility. It's utility. But as I kind of lived here for decades, I finally saw in the last kind of 2 or 3 years, it was COVID that kind of started all this. And then the racial unrest, George Floyd, defund the police, particularly in large urban centers
Sure.
like California, where you have people that are attorneys and doctors and graphic artists who never, ever would want to own a gun are now wanting to own a gun but don't know how to do it. I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself here. It's
That's
not
right.
rocket
You know
science.
the best part, though? You know how I got involved in this? This is great. Pierce calls me up one day. He's like, I'm doing a new company. Can you send me some money? I was like, what are you doing? That kind of doesn't matter. He's like, wait a minute. He said, by the way, it's kind of like, I need you on the board. Okay. He's like, I'll tell you later. And then at some point he kind of tells me, like, but this is the truth, though. This is what happens. When
This
you
is
work
a true story.
When you work with someone this many years,
Right.
this is how it goes. So Pierce calls me up one day. He says, all right, so you're going to be on the board and we're selling guns to people. I was like, shit, okay.
Talk to you later.
All right, I guess I said yes.
Which I was
talk about it
surprised
later.
you said yes so easy because he has LPs. I don't have LPs to account to, but
It is
all
a
good.
personal investment,
Yeah,
though.
it's not- it's
You know,
not
at some,
anything to do with it.
at some point in time, you know, it's the kind of thing that, you know, my venture fund bullpen would not be afraid to invest. The company is not yet at a stage where it is ready for a bullpen to invest, so it's a personal investment of mine. But yeah, no, when you've been through the ringer together the way Michael and I have been a couple times, you know, the answer is yes, and send me the documents later.
Well, you guys were vigilantes, so you know this is.
Were?
Vigilantes,
Yeah.
those are some
You
tough
had to
words.
go after some tough guys, some bad guys, and
Yeah.
do the work of the FBI.
Let me tell you a story
that's
about
right.
those
Yeah,
bad guys, right? So we've told the story on Inside Game. I'm going to tell a story here in this studio because we're talking about guns, etc. So one of the key parts of the story was Michael and I hired some former spooks to go investigate the guys who stole our money. These are pretty serious guys, right? And these are dudes that, you know, they within 48 hours, they knew exactly what happened. They knew who was responsible, etc. About a week later, you know, our engagement with these private investigators is done because we had the information we knew.
Right.
We had to then decide if we're going to try and go after these guys or whatever. I get a phone call. I'll never forget this phone call. One of my favorite phone calls I ever get. Mr. Martino, now that our engagement is complete and you realize what's happened, would you like us to take any more affirmative actions on your behalf?
Nice. Think we got a package.
I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I really don't know what the rest of that means, but I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, my answer is no.
No. You called me.
I'm good.
And I was like, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
I'm good with the package I purchased so far, which was to get some information.
The upgrade is
Yeah, the upgrade
hurt them,
didn't
don't
seem-
kill them.
Didn't it seem tempting though?
Yeah,
for about 20 seconds.
No. But when you get your money stolen, when you get people who come after your business, come after you, your family, the people you work with, you feel that way. But I couldn't believe that was.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not sure exactly what he meant, but I think he sort of meant some of that.
We noticed you didn't take advantage of our value meal. You like an upgrade.
You get an extra 20 nuggets with that if you buy this over here. You get 4 extra hot mustards.
Our
Yeah.
no more problem package over here.
So a lot of you guys probably remember from a prior episode of Inside Game, I told Brooks a story about how Michael Pierce and I, while making the film Inside Game that we named our podcast after, we had our money stolen by a group of fake producers called Weather Vane Productions. Not only did we talk about it on our podcast, there's a wonderful episode of American Greed about it that Michael and I were both part of that was called Fame, Fortune, and something. It was a great episode. You know, the best part about it is I got to tell this story about fame and fortune and whatever. And you know what, my brother Derrick Brooks, you know where he took that episode? He took it in the most unexpected place. I mentioned offhand that it was pretty exciting to have Stacy Keach say my name on the episode. Come on, how cool is it? We go, Michael Pierce was a pro.
Venture capitalist Michael Pierce.
Right. And tell him what this made you think of live on our podcast.
So I'm an avid Dateline watcher.
Oh,
I had
okay.
Dateline parties.
Yeah.
And there's Josh Mankiewicz talking in the background. And it really made me think that, like, someday I would be on Dateline just telling the story. Not from the person killed perspective, but the person who witnessed and their perspective of how everything went down. So I've always thought about Dateline. And when Paul said that, it just took me to that and said, we gotta figure out a way to get me on Dateline.
I said, Brooks, you don't really want to be on Dateline. Like, there's not a good role on Dateline.
think that's
Like,
a good
you're the
outcome
dead
anywhere,
person.
right.
You're the person who killed the person. You're the person who was accused of killing the person. And then
All
Brooks is-
three bad
And he
outcomes.
goes, no, I just want to be the witness. I want to be the dude going, it was him.
Oh.
I was him. I was
Yes.
like, Brooks, that guy's not on Dateline much.
Yeah.
You don't get much
He
credit
never
on
gets
Dateline.
on.
Or you could be Lester Holt, and he says, when we come back, the conclusion of Dateline. That's all his role is.
Okay. All right.
He's
We
paid
tell
and
the
he's
whole
out of
story
it.
Inside Game, and all he tells me about is Dateline fantasies. I want to know what those Dateline parties were at that he was at.
Dateline's such a good show. You watch it?
Sometimes.
It gets you, right?
I prefer American Greed though.
Yeah, but you know, the
Kind of got hooked on American
I
Greed.
feel like they give it away in the
Wait a
beginning
minute,
with
wait a minute.
American
I
Greed.
just realized something.
Well,
folks.
yeah,
Hey,
they string you along.
Yeah.
Pierce.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Super Agent, my brother Derrick, right? Allen Iverson and Ryan Howard, and he tells stories about, getting mistaken for the other Derrick Brooks, the Hall of Fame player. Derrick, when's Dateline on?
Fridays.
What time?
From 9 to 11.
Now we know what Derrick does on Friday nights. I thought you were out.
Even if you're on a plane, you can watch it.
I thought you were out with your celebrity and athlete buddies and stuff. You're watching Dateline on Friday nights. That's what you're doing.
Greatest confession of Dateline is I was in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and a new episode was coming out that was in my area.
Yeah.
I taped it,
Yeah.
but you can't wait. You can't wait till later. So we were in the club.
Yeah.
We were in Tao.
Tao, we're right
How
here.
do I
in
know that?
We're at the Tao group right down the street right here. Right down the street.
We were in Tao. We were in our
Yeah.
section.
Yeah.
The bottles are coming. The sparklers are going, and I'm on my Xfinity app. It's about to start, and I'm just watching it.
You really
And people
are
are like,
addicted
what
to
are you
Dateline."
doing? I couldn't hear it, obviously, but I got to see it. It's something about it being in your town. You want to see like stores
I
you go
can see
by.
that.
And
That was a neat pivot, though. No, actually, he was at home with his cat watching the show. He could tell the story about the Tao group and being at the. He was sitting there. He
Daylon's on in a few.
Cuddles, come here. Cuddles, come here.
Cuddles, or are you making it rain?
Right. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I never noticed a similarity between those two actions.
he
Yeah,
knew where Tao
see?
was right away.
Yeah.
I
know Michael
That was a
knows
lucky
it.
guess.
I know what
I've never
Michael
been.
knows
I've never
where
been to
it
any
is.
of these places. I'm just a lucky guess.
Do you have a
I'm
cat,
a
Brooks?
reformed
I don't.
gambler.
You have a dog?
Not a cat person. I am a dog person, though.
You got a dog?
By marriage, I'm a dog person.
Does the dog like Dateline?
Yeah. Actually, I probably told this on a previous episode, but when my daughter was born, who's now 15, when she would get cranky, I would take her out of the side crib from the bed, and I tell my wife, you go ahead and sleep. And I'd take her down to the basement where the movie room, and we'd watch Dateline.
Good parenting right there.
Warm milk and Dateline.
That's how
you're
you soothe
out.
the kid.
Yeah,
Get
that's
back
how-
to that. It's a
Most
big
people
one.
take them for
Brooks,
drives and stuff.
I got one for you because I have a favorite one. I'll give you my answer in a minute. So what's your favorite Dateline episode? Come on, you got to think of all the episodes. Come on. What's one where you go, oh my God, I can't believe that so-and-so did such and such?
There's a crazy one where this woman, she had kids. She met a preacher, and she was explaining to everybody that everyone around her, her husband and her kids, were from the devil because the preacher told her so.
Yeah.
And so she tried to have her husband killed a couple times. Finally, her brother killed the husband in a fight at her house. Then she ended up killing her whole family and running off with the preacher. And she said her kids were at her friend's house. And they tracked her for years trying to find out where the kids were. And finally, they caught up with her. She had one living son that ended up, going against his mom in court. And she's obviously in jail for life. But she was, not only did they do a Dateline of it, they did a Netflix special on her as well.
Now, if you were on that episode, where do you think you would have fit in? Brooks, where do you think you
I know exactly
you would
where.
have been at the church? You would have been in the first row. Where would you have been in that episode?
Nope, I already know. I know.
See, I know
So
he knows.
She goes into a Walmart to buy supplies.
Yeah.
I would have been the guy in back of her in line.
Oh.
Like, why you buying rope, lady? Why you buying tape?
Right.
I've been pointing at her.
He'd be like, I'm
It's
an
a-
expert in Dateline. This is one you got to watch right here. The crazy one with the crazy
On a
eyes
Tu-
buying buying the
You're buying ropes and shovels on a
zip
Tuesday
ties?
afternoon. Something's up with this lady.
That would have been you, Brooks.
Yeah, would have been me.
You would have made your case.
I would have told her.
You know what my favorite episode of American Greed is, though? Other than the episode that we're on. The episode about the Backstreet Boys is one of the most amazing episodes ever.
With the guy.
Because it was about Perlman. And I think we
Yeah.
talked about this at some point before. The episode is just amazing to me for a simple reason. So Perlman is a scammer who's stolen money in dozens and dozens of ways. He manages to hit the jackpot with the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
And it's like $1 billion band.
Yeah.
And as soon as he does, he goes and he commits more fraud.
Yeah.
Like, you think you just won the get out of jail free card. You could have gone legit. No, he decided, wow, now I can scam even
Now I
more
can
people.
really scam.
And the episode, because that episode is amazing to watch, though, because you see the psychology
Yeah.
of the scam, of the con artist. It's actually not even got to do with the money. It has to do with getting away with it. This guy could have gone legit and become a serious business person, he's like, no, I'm going to go steal some more money now.
Of course he is, because it's mental illness. And
Crazy.
he's not.
Yeah.
He's not in control
That
of it.
episode was crazy.
They keep doing it because for some reason they can't stop.
Yeah.
It's not logical. It's not rational.
That's
Yeah.
a crazy episode.
Yeah, you can't reason with crazy.
No.
Back to guns.
I didn't
What a
actually-
wild tangent we went.
Well, no,
What
we
do you
mean,
mean?
we went down a rabbit
Everything,
hole.
all paths lead to guns in America.
It's
It does.
true.
We have more guns per capita than anywhere in the world by like 30 times. Why is that? I don't really know.
Saturday Night Live has sucked forever. But this clip went viral. This is why I saw it. So when you see a clip of Saturday Night Live on Instagram instead of actually watching the show, that's when you know the show's largely bad. This episode's pretty funny. They got this dude who's like hanging out in the back, and they're working on the Bill of Rights, and everyone's talking, right? And they're talking about First Amendment, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone's looking around and going, well, what's number 2 going to be? And this guy's kind of looking around and goes, guns. Get guns. We're like, well, we can't make the amendment just be guns. He's like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And so they're all
funny.
searching for the words to write to bear arms. And he's like, no, just guns. That's actually what number 2 is.
Guns
And
is
then there's
fine.
another guy in the room, he says something like, all the things you care about, that's number 2 on your list.
Did you guys ever see the comedian Bill Burr? He talked about gun ownership. He said he never owned a gun. He actually, in his joke, I was listening to what you were saying about the new company, and it's exactly on beat with him. He said he wanted to buy a gun to protect his new family, right? And he's like, I got married,
seen that.
I got a kid,
Yep.
and now all of a sudden I want to be a gun owner. Someone intrudes, I have to protect my family. So he said he goes to the gun shop and he says, I want to be cool. I want one of those 9mm. And he said the guy comes from the back and he's like a redneck, and he's like, what kind of problem you got? And he said, well, I don't have a problem. I just want something for protection. You ever shoot a gun before? He said, no, just give it to me and
Yeah.
I'll practice. He goes, well, you don't want a 9mm. He said, because if you got a problem over here and you shoot, you miss. Now you got a bigger problem. He's like, you want this shotgun. Because you shoot that, it sprays out. No more problem over here. And so he said, what do I do? Because my wife wants me to take the gun apart. So I'm going to have the gun here. I'll have the ammunition in this drawer, and I'll have the shells over here. Someone breaks in my house. How do I put the gun together? And he said, I'm going to be in the kitchen, and the guy comes in, and he's breaking in my house. And I'm going to say, where's the gun? She's like, it's in the kitchen. And he goes, I'm in the kitchen with the guy. How am I going to get the bullets? The bullets are in the family room in the drawer. And it just reminded me of what you were saying, that not a lot of people have the education behind gun ownership or what they should have or why they should have it or when they should use it. And I just think it's such an efficient process rather than going in there being scared to raise your hand and say, I don't know.
That's a really good point. And all of our market research, I just got a 20-page report on this exact thing from our company we hired. And one of the things that's also come up is if you don't know anything about guns and you walk into a gun store, first of all, you're going to be intimidated. I would be intimidated. Usually
Yeah.
they're not friendly. And here's the other thing. There's only one salesperson that's more disreputable than a used car salesman, and that's a gun salesman. So he's going to sell you the gun that gives him the best margin.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows
How
what's
would you know?
right. So he's
How
going to
would
say,
you know?
here, what you need
Is
is
this
this 44 Magnum nickel coated. And he's going to sell that to like a 5'2", 205-pound girl. I see it all the time. So like, this is what I want, honey. So it seems a little big. No, this has got stopping power. This will stop a fucking elephant. Okay. Great. So she takes it and she goes home, or she goes to range. She shoots it. It
And the
flies out of
recoil
her hand,
pushes
or
her.
recoil hits her in the eye. She's got
it's
10
crazy.
stitches.
It's crazy.
But he makes a great margin on that because she doesn't know any better. We're taking all that out of the equation. So it's like, no, we're selling you the gun that's actually right for you based on real metrics and data. Like, you know, let's do this intelligently like we do so many other e-commerce businesses now. Just hadn't been done. So we've got a first mover advantage, which is good, but also, you know, a little scary because there's going to be stuff that comes up that we won't anticipate. But yeah, but these are all so logical that even I just met you, and you come up with like 5 great points right away on what the problem
Well,
is
he's
in the
available.
ecosystem.
He's available if you need a spokesman.
Yeah.
I'll take you up on that.
We'll do that.
actually.
Yeah, he's
We're doing a
available.
ton of content. We have a massive social media campaign. It's such a topic that people
Right.
relate to. It's in the zeitgeist now. So we're going to have tons of snippets on all our social. And it's the perfect time to launch, too, because there's really no restrictions on all the social platforms now
Yeah.
because of what's happened with our current president. I thank him for that.
Just go through my agent and we'll we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Fun.
Crazy. I'll get you Brooks' special rate. It's only 2x for you.
2x what?
It's only
0?
two-
2 times 0 is 0.
Oh.
So that's a 0, baby.
Wait,
Boom.
wait a minute. Wait, whoa, geez.
Aren't you a math guy? Do you know some
2 times
math?
0. Wow, he's pretty good, Brooks.
You taught me
200x.
everything I know. Listen, I was completely an invalid intellectually before I met Paul. Paul's just kind of infused me with all this knowledge and data. So I'm just like a little clone of him, although I'm a little bit taller than him.
Well, we got Brooks and Pierce here, though. There's something else we got to talk about. That's enough about guns for now, all right?
Okay, well, let's
we'll come
not
back
go
to
far
guns.
from guns. I like
Let's
All
talk-
roads lead.
Let's talk about something else that all three of us love to talk about. Let's talk about the NBA.
Oh, that one.
The NBA. Brooks, you know anything about the NBA? Hey,
That's
hey
tough.
Pierce, you know anything about
I've
the
heard
NBA?
of it, yeah. That's a
You ever
league.
make a movie about the
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we're in Los Angeles right now. I want your opinion on the story about the Clippers and how the Clippers decided that they were going to be real creative with the salary cap. Brooks, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about
That one,
what the
yeah.
Lakers
How
with
about
the
that?
Clippers did with the salary cap, because I think it might be a new way we can pay people. So Brooks, how about you tell us?
So the way all
hardly
these
new.
teams work is, and you're going to see this with OKC soon, right? They're young, they're full of talent, they win a championship all together.
Yep.
But because they're individually good, each one of those guys are going to want to get paid top dollar. Unfortunately, with a salary cap in the NBA, you can't pay them all to stay on the same team. Someone's got to take a cut. So you end up dispersing that team. That's why the sports are cyclical, right? Like you can be great 1 year and then 5 years later you're trying to get a lottery pick. Well,
Unless you're the Wizards.
Unless you're the Wizards,
you
you're
talked about.
always down there.
Yeah.
The Clippers thought the way to keep Kawhi both happy and in LA was to circumvent that that rule and offer him something outside of the box. So a little bit of outside of the box thinking, saying we'll give you shares of a company. That ended up going belly up. And whenever I was asked about it, it's not like, oh my gosh, this happened. You can tell that this happens all the time. It's just now it's starting to come out more, and because of what happened with this company, now it's like more prevalent for everybody to talk about it. But all these owners and the commissioner, they have knowledge of it, and it's just funny to watch them act as if it's the first time they've ever heard of such a thing. It's particularly the commissioner, like, we'll have to look into this. We'll hire an investigation team. We'll go see what LA. What did they mean by doing this? Was this on purpose? They know it was on purpose. They know why they did it. So
Steve Ballmer, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jeez, I didn't know anything about that. I had nothing to do with this company. Okay.
Right, because
Yeah.
Ballmer's a dumb business guy. We know that,
Right.
right? I mean, he never made a dollar.
No,
like
he knows
no,
nothing
no,
about this.
Look, obviously we're kidding, but Brooks, I mean, it really is as crazy as it sounds. They find ways to come up with consulting gigs and
Yeah.
payments from third parties to get more money in the players' pockets outside of what the contracted maximums are.
yeah.
And then why bother having a salary cap?
And listen, every team does it. I got to shout out our Philadelphia 76ers because they don't do it, and it's not because they can't. It's because they
none of
don't
the
know
players-
how.
No, none of
Right.
their players are good enough to.
When
but that's
they-
a different thing.
when LeBron James was a free agent, I remember talking to some of the Sixers brass, and they said, we're flying to LA, and we are going to interview with LeBron and his people. Yeah. And I said, oh, what's the pitch? What are you guys going to talk about? We got a brand new state-of-the-art practice facility and a new chef. And I said, well, we're not getting him. It's not going to work unless you got something to offer. But the brand new practice facility is not going to work, and the chef isn't going to work because the last chef almost killed a rookie.
So why even have the salary cap? Why don't you do what baseball is? Is baseball going to have a salary cap now?
Yeah, well,
You have no salary cap, and you have the biggest
Well-
market team winning 2 years in a row because
Yeah.
no one can pay what they can.
Yeah, and to pay that much for a guy who doesn't play is
Well, the
beyond
Sixers are
weird.
the best at that.
Yeah.
They are the best at that. Remember, who was that? Who was that guy they got from the Lakers, by the way? That was
Andrew
one,
Bynum.
That was one of the best ones ever. The only thing he ever did is he did one press conference. He never played a game. He had a hell of a press conference. I'm thinking, how many millions of dollars did he get for doing that one press conference? I could do one press conference and get paid that amount of money, Brooks. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, think about all the
He
money.
never
the
played a
Sixers
single
spent.
game,
No,
did he?
not at all. No, didn't even suit up.
Buying him. I mean, come on.
Didn't
Street
want to
clothes
play.
the whole
He didn't
time.
like the game.
No, he was such a talent.
Very
like
talented guy. I
that
don't think he cared about the game much.
it just didn't hit home.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are like that, though. That's the biggest misconception of a fan. When you're a fan of a sport, no matter what sport it is, we believe that the athlete that's playing for said team
Yep.
is as passionate about the sport as we are.
Yeah.
We don't know their motive, right? Some of the motive is to meet women. Some of it is to move out of poverty, make a certain dollar amount, and then they're done.
Yeah.
They hit their ceiling, and they don't want to do it anymore. And we get angry at them. Like, what are you doing? You got the opportunity of a lifetime. You're 6'10", run like a deer, can jump out of a building, and you don't want to play anymore? We get upset at that, but we don't understand as fans. These guys, they got what they came for.
Yeah.
That's it.